You're listening to Straight Outta Stratford 203 with Zach and Julian, the best sports podcast in Connecticut. Sit back and enjoy the ride in 3, 2, 1.
Straight Outta Stratford, slinging takes like Stafford, talking all the big games, have a beer right after. When it comes to the facts and the stats we provide, better know that our names will be up in the rafters.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Straight Outta Stratford podcast, episode number 12. I'm your host, Zach, along with my co-host,
Julian.
What's going on, guys? We had a great week of football in front of us, and it definitely did not disappoint. We had a lot of very good games. Some unexpected things to happen, but, you know, that's all a part of the NFL season. We always see that type of stuff. I'm just surprised it happened as early as it did. But we're going to start out a little bit with some of the scores from week 1. Then we'll kind of go into our predictions for what we think is going to happen in week 2. Then you got some college football stuff coming up, as well as closing out with baseball as well, obviously with the Mets and Yankees. But we'll start it off real quick.
Disappointing.
What a shocker to start. Obviously, after the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys game on Thursday night, we had the second game of the season, which was the Friday night game between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil. And the Chargers got the upset win in Brazil, winning 27-21. Justin Herbert, what a game from him. Very, very surprised. He stood out big time. 25-34, 318 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Also added 32 yards on the ground. He also got good performances from Quentin Johnson, who had 5 catches, 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Keenan Allen added a touchdown as well in his return to the Chargers. I was very surprised by Quentin Johnson, but Justin Herbert, man, what a performance.
I know. I saw when Keenan Allen re-signed with the Chargers, I had a feeling that Justin Herbert was going to play better than he usually does, because when you look at it, right, the Chargers only got rid of Keenan Allen because they needed cap room. They needed money, right?
Yeah, they did.
So when you look at the stats, right, Justin Herbert always loved having a tall wide receiver they can just throw the ball up to and say, you know what, go get it.
Like Mike Williams in
like
previous years.
Mike Williams, yes. Now Mike Williams is gone. He retired. Quentin Johnson the last few years couldn't catch football.
I don't know what happened.
You have Keenan Allen coming back to a room with not only do I think this is going to be great for the Chargers for this year, but for years to come. You have a veteran wide receiver with a veteran presence alone. His veteran presence alone in the locker room is going to be amazing. But what he can do to mentor not only Quentin Johnson but Ladd McConkey.
Yep. Who actually really didn't do much in the game. I know he had a couple catches.
He had a couple. He didn't do McConkey didn't do much, but that's because the offense is more versatile than it was last year.
Oh, absolutely.
Herbert does not have to rely on McConkey to get him all the points they scored last year.
Well, of course. And the other big thing is Omari and Hampton didn't really have his greatest game yet.
No.
And obviously that was expected.
No?
I think he may have gotten a couple carries, but not anything too crazy. Amari and Hampton, though, obviously very highly touted rookie. Everyone has very big expectations about him. I was kind of surprised at the level that he produced at. Now, granted, like I said, it's week 1 of the season. Not playing at home, you're playing a long-distance game that's in another country. The jet lag's a thing. Yeah. You know, it probably took a little bit of a toll on him. I could see him getting more involved, but...
I'm surprised. I'm flip-flopping it real quick.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Isaiah Pacheco didn't really do much.
Well, yeah. Well, of course, because I have him in fantasy football. I had him in my starting lineup for both leagues. Thank you, Isaiah Pacheco. Appreciate that. But yeah,
no hate.
No. It's no disrespect at all, because obviously we know what he can do when he is at his best. But the Chiefs' O-line really didn't look that great that night. I saw Mahomes running all over the place. I think he actually led the team with rushing attempts the whole night. I believe he had 11 or 12. And not just that, they also lost Xavier Worthy early in the game.
First play of the game.
Yeah, colliding with Travis Kelce. Looks like he dislocated his shoulder, popped out of place. I don't know if he's going to miss time or how much time he is going to miss, but not having Rashee Rice in that game, you lose Xavier Worthy. The offense was all sorts of off. You could see it. Now, granted, I think the Chiefs are still a good team. They're one of the teams to beat in the AFC. As long as Patrick Mahomes is there with Andy Reid at the helm as the head coach, they're going to be a good team. They still have a good defense too, but just the performance from Justin Herbert, couple mixed factors in as well. It was just a surprise to see that because, like we've seen over the years, the Chargers and Chiefs rivalry that we have now in the AFC West, the Chiefs have dominated that over the past couple years, and the Chargers were actually able to beat them for the first time since 2021.
It says Mahomes only had 6 carries.
Really? They may have changed it.
He's my fantasy quarterback.
Because when I was watching that night, I remember they said that he had more than 6.
Well, I'm looking at the week 1 game log. He was 24 for 39. 61.5% completion percentage.
Which is not that great for him. I mean, it's still good, but not bad.
When his receiver core is bums and...
well, not all bums.
It is bums and an aging Travis Kelce. Well, no.
They have Hollywood Brown, too.
He dropped like 3 passes that were thrown directly towards him.
Listen, I'm just saying that was not.
I'm not saying catching a football is easy in the NFL, but... I did see several plays where he was wide open and he just couldn't bring the ball in.
Yeah, I know that happened in a couple other games too.
He had 258 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles, 6 carries, 57 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown.
I thought he ran for more than that. Maybe I'm crazy, but I know like I said though, he was on the move a lot of the night. He was scrambling out of the pocket. He took off a couple of times. It wasn't really a surprise to me. I mean, like I said, the Chargers' defense actually impressed me a lot that game. But the one guy who I said that really impressed me was Herbert. Herbert looked like what everyone expected him to be when he first came in. He had such high expectation. Then he didn't really reach that level of potential, and people have always called him the internet quarterback because he's really good online, and then when he plays, he's really nothing special. But that night, he proved that
he proved that he was the top 10 pick that he was supposed to be.
Oh, no question.
And I'm not blaming it on Brandon Staley at all.
No, I wouldn't either.
I mean, you probably can.
A little bit. I think the coaching does.
Because when you look at Harbaugh, right, and you look at what he did at Michigan, his quarterbacks weren't really the best. I mean, I'm not saying. All right, we only played 1 game in the NFL. J.J. McCarthy, he looked. We're gonna talk more about him later, but he didn't really look too confident.
No, not yet. We will definitely touch on that later, though.
But what I'm gonna say, right, is Herbert looked like he came out there and was like, I'm going to just ball. And he did.
And he did for sure. No question about that. Now, speaking of the AFC West as well. Oh, unless you want to say something.
One more thing about a former Charger, which we spoke upon several episodes. Asante Samuel Jr., only reason he has not been signed yet is because he is still rehabbing from an injury, I guess he sustained last year.
Okay. I did not know.
Because I saw a report from, I forgot who I saw it from, but I know it was like a reliable source.
It's fair.
That he is aiming to sign with a team closer to midseason.
Okay. Good. Well, I mean, there are going to be some teams that have some interest in him. But going back to the AFC West.
One team I don't want to see him go to is the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, let's not even say that, okay? We won't say that. They already have enough. But the Raiders game that we saw will kick off Sunday now. So Sunday, the Raiders played the New England Patriots in Foxborough for Game 1 of the year. Raiders were able to escape with a 20-13 win. Rookie Ashton Genty got his first touchdown to give the Raiders the lead in the fourth quarter. They didn't look back from there. Geno actually played really well. He had 362 yards passing and a touchdown in the win. Now, the thing that concerned me again, of course, going back to fantasy football, Brock Bowers exited the game with a knee injury on a no-contact play. And he limped off the field, and there was concern that it may have been something more serious. Now, granted, I've seen all of the reports starting to come out. He supposedly said that he wanted to go back into the game, and the training staff would not let him. Now Pete Carroll is considering him as a day-to-day. I don't know if it is more severe. He doesn't seem like it. He seems like he wants to play. But before that injury, he had 5 catches, 103 yards. He looked like the Brock Bowers that everyone knows. He was incredible. The guy is one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in football right now. So we hope.
He's the best.
I think he is the best as well, too. I just didn't want to jump to conclusion, but.
So piggybacking off of my prior statement, he had spinal fusion surgery in the offseason. Asante Samuel.
Oh, wow.
So
I did not know
he went for a CT scan. He's going for a CT scan in October to ensure that his spinal fusion was successful.
Okay.
And if it is, I'm assuming he's going to look to sign a deal closer towards midseason. Because the last thing we want to happen is to see him go out there and it not be successful. And
well, he's a young player.
He's a young player, not only potentially ruining his NFL career, but say he makes a hit the wrong way or he gets an interception and he goes to return it. One wrong hit with an improper spinal fusion, I'm pretty sure could end his life.
Yeah, I would hope not. You know,
I'm not wishing.
No, I know.
I don't wish death upon anybody. I'm just putting that out there.
Of course, no, I get it. Understood. You know, so we don't want to see any injuries from anybody, especially not him. So
because when you look at a player like him, right, and you're like, first of all, you look at his dad, who was amazing,
Hall of Famer. Yep.
And you look at him, who was also very talented, and you're like, why isn't he signed? But there's the reason. He's
right there.
He's playing it smart.
As he should. You know, that's a very, very big injury. It's not something that you should take lightly in your career, especially since we said he's a young guy. So prayers up to him, too. Hopefully he gets better. Obviously, prayers to Brock Bowers. Hopefully it's nothing serious with him. Then we can kind of move on to the Steelers and Jets game, which
I was unexpected. I thought that was going to be a low-scoring 10-6 game.
So did I. We said it.
Aaron Rodgers was going to have 1 touchdown.
Well, he looked like vintage Aaron Rodgers a little bit. Now, granted, the final score of the game was 34-32. The Steelers did win in New York. What a surprise. Aaron Rodgers comes out, plays extremely well, throws for 244 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, on the opposite side, Justin Fields actually played really well, too. He added 218 yards and a passing touchdown, as well as 48 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. The Jets were in control of the game up until that turnover on the kickoff. The Steelers had scored the prior possession, get the ball back quick, and then a couple plays later, they take the lead. That was a big turn in the game. And obviously, we both picked the Steelers to win that week.
We did.
We both said that it was going to be a low-scoring game. That was a great game to watch. Very impressive from the Jets' offense. I did not expect that. People were saying that Fields was struggling in the preseason a little bit, finding his receivers.
I did see that.
He didn't look like he had much of a problem.
No, he didn't.
Played well.
He didn't. And what makes me not mad but confused is that when Russell Wilson got hurt last year for the Steelers, right, with his thumb, they put Justin Fields in, and they weren't bad.
No, I know they weren't bad.
Like, people are making it out to seem that Justin Fields hasn't really sustained a season where he has, like, shown he could do what he did in college in the NFL. I'm not saying he has, but I'm not saying he hasn't shown he has the potential to do it. Like, with the 2 or 3 games he played with the Steelers last year,
he was good.
He was I'm not just basing this off of fantasy football, but he was like a top 5 fantasy quarterback when he was playing.
Well, he was.
And I'm not taking away from his athletic ability. I remember I believe it was 2022, his rookie year, I'm pretty sure. He had an insane rushing touchdown against the 49ers.
Yep.
If you know what I'm talking, he ran like 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage and somehow managed to
find the end zone. Which, he's got potential. It was never that. It's just in every role that he's been in, he showed signs that he's good enough to be there, and then he has his moments where, you need to win a game or you got to be clutch in the last couple weeks of the season, and he didn't really look that great. Now, granted, it is the first week of the season. There's a lot of football left to go. All I know is The Jets' offense looked a lot better than I had expected it to look. To be honest with you, I think both defenses really didn't look as good as everyone expected.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. Also, what I'm going to say, right, is that you saw Steelers look a little lackluster last year. And the Jets, the same. They swapped quarterbacks. And you could argue that the Steelers' system is better for a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers.
And the Jets system is better for a quarterback like Justin Fields?
Yes.
I could see that too. I think it
I'm
definitely
only saying
contributes.
that because, like, right, when you look at Mike Tomlin's head coaching stint in Pittsburgh, who was the quarterback for his majority of the...
Ben Roethlisberger.
And he moves like molasses.
Yes, he does.
I'm not saying nothing against Big Ben. Big Ben was a great NFL quarterback, but he cannot run to save his life.
Oh, my. No, he could not. There are a couple quarterbacks that could not. But
Him, Peyton Manning,
Eli.
Tom Brady said it on the broadcast.
Brady. Drew Brees didn't really run like that either.
No,
But
Drew Brees.
regardless, the Steelers kicked that game-winning field goal to win 34-32 with under 2 minutes left to play, and then obviously the Jets were unable to do much with it, so the Steelers were able to escape with the win there as well. Now, the one that shocked me, but again, I'm a genius, I called it on the podcast, is the Dolphins getting smoked by the Indianapolis Colts, 33-8. Now, before we start, obviously we'll touch on you-know-who.
To turn the ball over.
We're going to touch on him a little bit, but the big thing that I didn't realize, which kind of made sense to me, now granted, this always ends up being a thing that I've noticed. Whenever tragedy strikes, teams end up playing better than everyone expects them to. I did not realize that the Colts were honoring Jim Irsay for the first game of the year, who passed away earlier in the year.
I didn't know that either.
Well, it's not that I forgot, but I thought that they did all the tributes and stuff, but since it's a couple months later, I was like, I don't know if maybe they do it. I wasn't sure. I was hoping that they would, but first game, I kind of sat there and they said a moment of silence for Jim Irsay, and I was like, oh, I completely just like blanked, didn't even realize that they were going to do that. And then out comes Daniel Jones. Holy smokes. I said that too. I said Daniel Jones may come out and surprise some people in the first week and, actually play pretty well. He didn't just play well. That man was balling. He went 22 of 29, 272 passing yards and a touchdown. Also added 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Both were QB sneaks, but still. Then he was getting the ball to Tyler Warren a lot too. Tyler Warren played very well, getting 76 yards and 7 catches. Well. But the thing that stood out not just about Daniel Jones to me was how bad the Dolphins' offense looked. Tua was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. So the Dolphins' offense had 43 yards in the first half. 43. And Tua had 2 interceptions and a fumble on a sack. He only added 1 touchdown in the game, which came in the fourth quarter after the Colts were already winning like 33-0. So the game was over anyway. Then they proceeded to bench Tua and put in Zach Wilson to close out the game, which that just goes to show how bad that game was. Daniel Jones did something that only Peyton Manning in 2006 did, which is score on every single possession for the Colts in a single game.
He also did something that no one has ever done for the Colts.
Which is?
Scored on the first 4 possessions in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, the guy leaves New York, goes to Indianapolis. Now, granted, I said a little bit about it too with Shane Steichen. For some reason, I figured he would have a way to kind of work with him. I didn't think he was going to come out and play like that. I was expecting maybe a low 200-yard day, maybe, a touchdown and an interception. Jonathan Taylor carries the bulk of the work. He came out and was stellar.
I'm going to say something that a lot of people probably aren't acknowledging. After the Giants released him last year, he went to Minnesota.
Yes, he did. That is correct. He was the backup to Sam Darnold.
Exactly. And I know you said on last Friday that J.J. McCarthy sitting behind Sam Darnold and watching was not a bad thing because of how well Sam Darnold played.
Yeah. Kevin O'Connell. I said that,
I'm not positive. I'm a Giants fan, but I do not remember what week the Giants let him go.
I couldn't tell you. I know it was later in the year.
It was later in the year, but maybe, I'm not saying like Kevin O'Connell's like a quarterback guru or whatever, but Daniel Jones going to Minnesota, sitting behind Sam Darnold, and learning from Kevin O'Connell's system might have helped him in a way.
Oh, I would definitely understand that too. And like I said, Kevin O'Connell was a very good coach when he was with the Rams.
And I'm not taking away from New York's ability to develop a quarterback. Because when you look at, their quarterback coach probably wasn't the best, but when you look at their head coach in Brian Dable, right? When he was brought over from the Bills, he wasn't a head coach at the Bills.
No, he was an assistant coach.
No, he wasn't. He was a quarterback coach.
Oh, well, that's technically an assistant coach. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
In a way, right?
In a way.
He helped Josh Allen become what Josh Allen is.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it too, for sure. And like I said, though, I just was very surprised that Jones played as good as he did. I mean, I kind of had a feeling it was coming, but I did not expect the Dolphins to get smoked that bad. I figured a closer game.
That game right there looked like the $150 million man that was paid by the New York Giants. That game by Jones, if he played like that for New York after they signed him, I would not have cared that we paid him that much money because he looked amazing.
Yeah, he did. He looked very, very good.
But when New York, he didn't really do much after he got paid. And,
Yeah. So, I mean, it was kind of surprising, but again, like I said, I didn't think the game was going to get that out of hand. I figured it was going to be a little bit closer, but just not like that. But anyway, we'll move on to some other scores as well, too. So we also saw the Cardinals beat the New Orleans Saints 20-13 in New Orleans. The Saints did have one touchdown in the game, which came from Alvin Kamara. Cardinals got good production from Murray, who threw for 2 touchdowns in the effort. Going into the game, I even said to you before, I thought that the Cardinals would just be too much for them. The Saints actually played a lot better than I expected from them, too. Probably had to do something with them being at home. I think that it definitely lifted them a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I knew that they weren't going to be able to win that game. I mean, they brought the ball down the field into the Cardinals' territory on the last drive, but they weren't able to capitalize as the Cardinals did pull it off. So, again, another prediction that we kind of both saw coming. But, yeah, the Cardinals are starting to play a lot better as well, too. The defense looked pretty good. So you should expect some bigger things from them. I think Marvin Harrison played fairly well as well, too. So, of course, we kind of expected that to happen. Now, the one that we're going to touch on now, I'm sorry.
I know.
Is the New York Football Giants getting embarrassed by the Washington Commanders in Washington. The Giants didn't find the end zone the whole game. The score was 21-6. They had multiple opportunities near, but the thing that I talked about with a couple of my friends who are all Giants fans, who was the leading rusher in that game for the Giants?
Russell Wilson?
Yes. He finished with 44 yards rushing. The rest of their running backs combined had 30 yards rushing. Between Singletary, Scatabo, and Tracy, 30 yards. So, as much as I'd love to sit there and say, oh, well, last year a lot of people blamed Daniel Jones, right? They said that this year would be a little different because their O-line was going to be better. They did focus on it a decent amount in the offseason. They add Russell Wilson. Defense looks good. And then they come out, and the O-line looks like one of the worst O-lines in football right now. Only other O-line that I think that may be worse is the Cincinnati Bengals, which, again, we will get to that at one point too. But very, very ugly game. Russell Wilson finished with a QBR of a 25.5. Now, granted, not really his fault. He got rocked multiple times, had no time to throw the ball. He went 17-37 for 168 yards. Now, on the other side, Deebo Samuel made his debut with Washington.
Well, I'm going to say this quickly.
Yep, go for it. You're the Giants fan, so I'd love to hear it.
I mean, I don't really know.
Trust me,
where to
no
start?
one knows.
Where to start here?
Yeah, dude. Good luck.
I sat down to watch that game thinking it was going to be somewhat close.
Yeah, me too. I picked them.
But I didn't, because you saw them start the game off with a really long, like 73-yard drive, right? And you're like, this is a different team.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No. The only thing I will say is there were a few plays that the Giants made on defense that did look really well.
Yeah, they did.
And I will say it is the first week, so that one play that Abdul Carter closed out Jaden Daniels with his arms in the air instead of rocking him, I mean, it's a mistake. He'll learn not to do that again. He'll learn to just run the quarterback over.
Well, I saw a lot of people that were making fun of the clip, too. It actually wasn't a bad play, though.
I'm not saying it was a bad play. Maybe he was thinking that if he hit him, he would have got a roughing call.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. So there's a good chance
He was trying to avoid a roughing call.
Yep.
If you think like what I noticed was that there were Brian Burns looked great, Dexter Lawrence always good, Thibodeau looked somewhat better than he usually does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Javon Holland looked great. Tyler Newton played fairly well. Drew Phillips made a really great play on defense when it was a fake. They faked the handoff to the running back, and they threw it. It was like a screen, and Debo was trying to get the first, and everybody on the defense was faked out aside from Drew Phillips, and he made the tackle, which gave the Giants a shot. They did wind up driving down the field, but they didn't even score. That's when they kicked the second field goal of the game.
Yeah. So, but the thing that I
The
just
Giants'
wanted to say-
defense is the bright spot.
Oh, no question. That was the bright spot going in. Everyone knew.
Everybody knew that, and the pieces that were they proved it. Now, what I'm going to say was there was one play on offense where there was a missed face mask call, and I believe that drive did wind up being stalled. They didn't score any points on it.
Granted, the game probably was over anyway.
No, it wasn't.
Well, no.
They were only down by, I think it was when it was 14-6. So they were down by 8. Or they might have been down by, I don't know what they were down by. But what I'm saying is I don't really care that they lost because I wasn't expecting them to do great this year at all. But I'm just sick and tired of not even just NFL refs, just
All
making like a
Umpires,
bad
refs.
call. It was clearly Darius Slayton. It was a go ball to Darius Slayton, who has arguably been the Giants' most solid receiver for the past 7 years, aside from now Neighbors. You saw him running down the field with the DB, and you saw the DB grab his face mask and pull him down so he couldn't put his arm up to go even attempt to catch the ball.
So kind of like what T. Higgins did to Jalen Ramsey in the Super Bowl, and they ended up catching a touchdown on it, and they didn't call that either. So trust me, things happen. I know the Giants fans, especially like I said with my friends too, we've talked about this. They didn't really have the highest expectations. They just expected some improvement.
Now, I will say this, which I think is weird, and I know it's not allowed. They held Jackson. Apparently, there were reports saying that they told Jackson Dart not to speak to the media after the game.
I didn't focus any bit on that. I don't know if he did.
No, he didn't. He didn't speak to the media at all. What I know is that teams are not allowed to tell players that they cannot go speak to the media, and they cannot tell the media that they are not allowed to speak to a certain player. Every player is required to be eligible to talk to media after every game.
Well, I don't know. If that's the truth, and he didn't speak to the media, I think it's kind of stupid, but I
may be delusional, but I already think it's time to put Russell Wilson on the bench and put Dart in the game.
Trust me, after the way the O-line just played, no. You obviously, yes, he's more mobile. You do not need that kid going out there and getting killed like that. You don't. Maybe later in the year at some point. I know we already talked about it before the preseason even started this year. I still would be very skeptical about throwing him out there now. But down the road,
I know, skeptical, and I know I don't know if this is also true. I saw reports that Dable went to the front offices and told. I think it was. I'm believing it has to be Joe Shane. That Dable himself wants Dart out there, not
well,
Russell
of course,
Wilson.
but that's the thing is I feel like the only reason why people are doing it is because Giant fans are growing impatient. They want to see somebody different. They want to see different results, and they know that Dart can move.
Not only do they want to see different results, I think Dable realizes that he is on the hot seat.
Of course he does,
and he needs to
so
show.
Does Joe Shane.
Well, Joe Shane. The only mistake Joe Shane really made, there were two of them.
Well, they weren't really good ones either, though. So trust me,
they were both pretty bad.
Overall, it was both bad, but I would not be surprised if both are on the hot seat.
One was
I would not be surprised.
Giving Daniel Jones $150 million.
The other one is letting Saquon Barkley walk. I know.
Yeah.
As does everybody else, too. But still, he's going to be on the hot seat as well. But we'll move off the Giants because I know that that's enough suffering that you've gone through this weekend. The Jaguars and Panthers faced off for the first time under Liam Cohen leading the pack for the Jaguars. They won 26-10 over the Panthers. Travis Etienne looked like he kind of returned to his original form. He ran for 143 yards on 16 carries. Pretty impressive day. I know Travis Hunter also made his debut. He had 6 catches for 33 yards in the win. Now, the guy that we talked about a little bit, I had a little bit higher expectation for him this year, was Bryce Young. Bryce Young really did not look that good. Now, granted, again, it's week 1. He's still missing a couple options at receiver right now, still kind of getting back into the flow of things. The Jaguars' defense isn't really bad. They're actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
And like I said, Liam Cohen and Duval now, it's like a whole different culture. They want to try and bring something different to Jacksonville. So far, they look different. I'm not going to get ahead of myself and say, oh, well, Jacksonville's going to be super good. They definitely are aiming for it. I don't know how successful they are going to be this year, but it's a good start.
What I will say is one thing that we did speak about, the kind of opposite of what we expected to happen did happen. We were talking about last week about ETN having a bounce-back season, which could potentially lead him to being a trade candidate for other teams.
Yes, I could potentially see that. Well, especially after this game.
But what happened the other day was the Jags sent Tank Bigsby to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So I don't know who they would put out. If they do trade ETN, I don't know who their starting back would be.
I already know who it is.
Who?
Baishal Tutin. That's the guy that they got this year. He was picked up in a lot of fantasy football leagues. He's not a bad player. I know that they had very high expectations behind him as well, too, so now that's their running back room. But, yeah, no, if they end up trading him, I would not be... Oh, not just that. They also claimed Cody Schrader off of the Rams practice squad and had him in Jacksonville as well, too. And he was one of the Rams young prodigy stars that they had on the practice squad that a lot of fans got, like, really hyped for. Only really had one play, and people were like, oh, this kid's going to be good. He had a couple yards in the game that they played during the preseason. He played well, but a lot of fans were like overhyping him, but he ain't going to see the field with Blake Corum and Kyron Williams and some of the other guys that they have. So they put him on the practice squad, and the Jaguars got him this morning. So they have other options. I still would not be surprised if they do move off of him, but going back to the whole Panthers side of it as well, too, is Teteroa McMillan also made his debut. He added 68 yards receiving on 5 catches, which was really the one positive thing I saw is that he's starting to actually get connection with Bryce Young, which could help once Jalen Coker comes back and once they kind of get back into that rhythm of playing again, too. But again, like I mentioned, the Jaguars looked like they started off on a good foot. It's a good start to their change of the culture year that they're having this year. So it'll be interesting to see how they do for the rest of the season. But we will touch on their matchups, obviously, with other teams as well, too, in a couple of minutes. But the big one that we could also talk about is the Bengals and Browns. What an ugly game that was. Good Lord have mercy. That was one of the worst games, I think, of the weekend, not to be mean to Browns fans or Bengals fans, but that game was painful to watch. The Bengals got outgained on offense and still found a way to win. 327 yards of offense for the Browns, 141 for the Bengals. Okay. And the Bengals win.
I have one thing to say about this game in specific. You have a team that is supposed to be looking like it's going in the right trajectory.
Who, with the Bengals?
With the Browns.
Oh, okay.
And you have a defense that let up 3 yards in the entire second half of the game.
Yeah. No.
And you still find a way to lose.
Yeah, well,
I don't understand. If you are able to hold a team to 3 yards for a whole 24 minutes of football, there is no excuse And
What
I
can we
mean
say?
no excuse for you not to find a way to win the damn football game.
Yeah, well, that's
The franchise of Cleveland should be embarrassed.
of course, dude. It's Cleveland. We know.
I understand
It's
the fact that it's
Cleveland
Cleveland.
Browns.
I understand the fact that it's the Cleveland Browns, but still.
Oh my God!
But still, you have Myles Garrett who said, I want to go out there and compete to win. The defense played like they wanted to compete to win, but the offense, on the other hand, didn't really look as good as they did.
Well,
As they like.
it wasn't necessarily the offense fully
I'm
though.
not
It's
even
also
really blaming the offense, but you hold the Bengals. The Bengals, who are a team that were regularly putting up 40 points last season, to 3 yards in the second half of the game.
Yeah.
And you can't find a way to win. It's 3 yards.
Well, that's the thing is they actually should have won the game because they missed an extra point, missed a field goal to take the lead in the game, and also had 2 turnovers in the game, which definitely did not help. They should have won that game. The Bengals should be 0-1 right now. But luckily, since it is the Cleveland Browns that they played against, they are 1-0. They should be 0-1.
Who's the Browns kicker? Dustin Hopkins?
No. To be honest with you, I don't even know how to pronounce the kid's name. They released Dustin Hopkins, and they have a new kid that's kicking for them. And he missed an extra point and a field goal. If I was them, I'd call Dustin Hopkins back up because that was not good.
Dustin Hopkins should be starting on that team. He should be the starting kicker.
He's not even on the team. He got released. I'm pretty sure he got released and didn't even make the 53-man roster. I know he got released. I don't know if it was before the rosters were announced or after.
Andre Seisman?
Yes, there you go. Seisman. Yeah. I'm telling you, he's the sole reason why they lost that game. Enough said. 327 yards to 141, and you lose. All because of a field goal, an extra point, and then obviously 2 turnovers by the offense too, which didn't help either. So it's not just all his fault, but those opportunities were late in the game, and they were crucial, and he missed them. So the Bengals luckily walk away with a win. Very, very, very lucky. Now, the Buccaneers and Falcons game, we'll touch on that really quick too, because we've already been going at it for a little bit here. We want to make sure we touch on everything. Bucs-Falcons had their head-to-head clash. Obviously, we saw the Buccaneers winning 23-20. Again, missed field goal from Younghoe Koo at the end of the game after Michael Penix led a drive all the way downfield, put them into field goal range, and they missed the field goal. Again, here we go already with the missed field goals. Very, very early. I don't know what happened to kickers. Baker Mayfield threw for 3 touchdowns, 167 yards in the game. Emeka Egbuka, very big game for him as well, too. Ended up adding 2 touchdowns, including what ended up being the game winner in his first career game. Had a feeling that was coming. So far, he's looking like the offensive rookie of the year as of right now. He played very, very good. Now, granted, it is week 1, so you have a lot of season left. But if that's the way he's going to play fairly consistently, it's a very, very good start. Very good start.
That is 100% true.
Even with Michael Penix played well. He had 298 yards on 27 of 42 passing, touchdown, and he actually threw that touchdown to Bijan Robinson, who just flew past everybody for 50 yards to start the game on the first drive. But obviously it was not enough, as the missed field goal in the end would end the day for the Falcons, giving them their first loss of the year at home. We could kind of breeze over these next couple fairly quickly. The Broncos, we weren't surprised by that, beating the Titans 20-12. Didn't let the Titans score a touchdown the whole game.
I will say this. The Broncos last year, Bo Nix came out and looked like he was... Everybody didn't think Bo Nix was going to do well last year.
Including me. I was not a Bo Nix fan myself.
He came out, he went out there and he played fairly well last year, right?
Mm-hmm, yes,
and for him to come out the way he did this year...
Not good.
Not good.
That's week 1, though.
It's week 1. I get the whole sophomore slump thing, but not good.
No, that was not a good start. He actually threw, 2 interceptions and had fumbled once. That was actually the first time that he did that since he was in Auburn, which was kind of surprising stat to see. So that was very surprising. He went 25 of 40, 176 yards. He did add a touchdown, but he even came out at the end of the game and said that he was thankful for the defense who added 6 sacks on the day, which was huge. Now, Cam Ward did struggle a little bit. He was 12 of 28, 112 yards passing, QBR of a 7.3.
But granted, he was probably playing the best defense in the NFL.
Well, there's two big things. Number one, that is one of the best, if not the best defense in football. And number two,
his wide receivers
their
can't catch
wide
the ball.
receivers could not catch a cold. You even saw his dad.
Yeah, I was about to say I saw his dad
stand up and just oh my
over
God.
the railing. He was not.
I wouldn't be happy either.
That pass was maybe
hit him right in the logo.
Maybe it was a little out in front of him, maybe it was out. Hold on, listen to me. I'm not blaming this on Cam Ward at all.
I know.
Maybe it was out in front of him by 1 or 2 steps, but you have to be able to figure out a way to reel that ball in, especially if the DB is nowhere near you. I get the DB is near you, right? But if the DB, I'm not just saying this for the Titans. I'm saying this for
anybody,
any receiver in the league. If you are being covered by a DB and he does not touch the football, and it touches your hands or your or in your area of your chest,
it's got to be caught.
You should be able to catch that ball. You got drafted to the NFL for a reason.
Yes, they did. But that was a very bad showing from them as well too. We'll move off that game. 49ers Seahawks. This is one of the games that I did also predict incorrect as well too. 49ers were able to win by a final score of 17-13. Sam Darnold didn't really look all too great. He had 150 passing yards in the game, 124 of them to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Thank God I have him in fantasy football. Good God. The very, very good game from
Kenneth Walker didn't look that great either.
Well, Kenneth Walker is probably going to end up losing his job. I have a feeling. Zach Charbonnet actually looked pretty good that week. He added the touchdown in the game. Darnold, like I said, was 16-23, 150 yards passing. The 49ers scored with 2 minutes left in the game to take a 17-13 lead. Seattle looked to win on the last-minute drive until Sam Darnold was sacked and fumbled the football. Ghosts.
Now, what I will say is there was one clip of, I don't know who caught the touchdown, but Tariq Woolen was in coverage.
Oh, that was a horrible clip. I remember watching that too.
I think it might have been a receiver, or it might have been the backup tight end because George Kittle was already out.
I thought it was Ricky. Was it Ricky Pearsall? Or are you talking about the clip that was on the sideline?
Oh. In the end zone?
No. That was the third string tight end after Kittle was
exactly.
out. They had 3 Seahawks defenders.
No, but Tariq Woolen was right there, I think.
And went right over his head.
Didn't even go right over his head. He backed out of the way to try and he was covering him perfectly fine. Ball was thrown to the tight end. Third string tight end, by the way, because George Kittle is out. The all-pro tight end, George Kittle, is out. And he moves out of the way, takes a step and a half backwards, and then tries to go for the ball. You can't do that.
Yeah, Tariq Woolen, I don't know what happened with him either. But on the 49ers, like you mentioned, Kittle got hurt. He's going to be out for 3 to 5 weeks with a hamstring injury. And not only this, we also got word this morning that Brock Purdy is also going to miss 2 to 5 weeks with some form of turf toe. So now not only are you down Kittle and Ayuk, who didn't even start the season, now you're down your starting quarterback, which you just paid $50 million a year to. That is not good for the 49ers. Now, granted, they do have Mac Jones behind him, one of the better backup quarterbacks. I know you're sitting here giggling, laughing. That's actually better than a lot of other backup quarterbacks are, though. So
no, I'm not laughing about the fact that.
Oh, trust me, if I could laugh too, because I hate the 49ers with every bit of my fiber in my being. I can't stand them. So ha 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 ha.
Now that Mac Jones is starting. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do.
I think they'll do all right. Kyle Shanahan's system will probably work fairly well for him. I don't know how the wide receivers kind of help, especially now that you're missing Kittle, which, of course, I have him in fantasy as well in one of my leagues. What a shocker. First year that I take him early in the draft, and he ends up getting hurt. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So I don't know how the 49ers will going to do, but we'll take predictions on that as well because, like I said, we got to try and speed through this as well. Now, the other 2 games which we could touch on really quick were the Packers and Lions and the Rams and Texans. The Packers and Lions game, Packers, wow. Absolutely smoked the Lions, 27-13. That game was a little bit closer. That 13 really doesn't show how great the game was for the Lions. losing offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, 2 of your starting O-linemen, 1 to retirement, 1 to free agency. They did not look nearly as good. The Packers, on the other hand, looked very good. I mean, the Packers, Jordan Love, 16 of 22, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their defense allowed only 46 rushing yards to one of the best running back duos in football. They sacked Jared Goff 4 times and picked him off once. So, like I said, the Lions looked very different on both sides of the ball. And the Packers came out ready to go. Micah Parsons got his first career sack as a Green Bay Packer. So, I mean, that was the one game I think you picked the Lions. I picked the Packers. I just had a feeling with that offensive line and them losing a lot of pieces, especially Ben Johnson on the offensive coordinator side of it. That was a big loss for them, and it showed. Jared Goff really did not look that great. Running game was not able to break through. That's going to be a big problem if they can't, get that run game going and they force Jared Goff to throw the ball. It's going to be crucial. It's going to be very, very crucial. So we shall see what happens there, but the Packers did make a statement and defeat the former NFC North champs. Now the Rams and Texans. Rams-Texans game was a very, very low-scoring game. I thought it was going to be a little bit different than that as well. Both defenses played well, in my opinion. The Rams did win 14-9. Shout out to Matthew Stafford, who not broke a record, but he passed 60,000 career passing yards in his entire run in the NFL, which was awesome. He threw for 245 yards and a touchdown. Kyron Williams added a rushing touchdown as well on 66 yards. The Texans defense, again, like I said, they played well. They limited the Rams to only 14 points, but the Rams defense played extremely well. They held the Texans offense to 3 field goals, no touchdowns. C.J. Stroud, not really that bad of a day, not as great. Now, I kind of did see it coming a little bit. He went 19 of 27, 188 yards and an interception. But like I said, no Tank Dell, no Joe Mixon. You lost Stephon Diggs in the offseason. They don't really have many weapons. Christian Kirk, nobody said his name the entire game. True. Didn't hear him at all. Jaden Higgins, I believe, had 1 or 2 catches. Nico Collins was covered all over the place by Akello Witherspoon. Great job by him to do that. But like I said, the Texans being down a lot of those guys definitely impacted the way that the game went. They still kept it close up until Nate Landman with the big punch out for the fumble to officially close the game out. Obviously,
I saw that.
That was, again, he ended up winning NFC Defensive Player of the Week this week as a Rams linebacker, which we haven't seen something like that in a while. I'm thrilled to see how he does as a leader on this defense. But again, very good game from the Rams defense. Texans look decent, but they got to try and bounce back this upcoming week. Now, the game that I wanted to hear your thoughts on was the Sunday night thriller, which is already going to be a game of the year candidate between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens.
That might have been the best football game I ever watched.
It's not the best one I've ever watched. The best one I ever watched was the Rams versus Chiefs game where it was 54-50. That was the greatest game I've ever seen in my life.
With Goff.
With Goff versus Mahomes?
Yes, I do.
That was the best game I've ever watched.
I do remember that. That was 2017?
Yeah, it was a while ago now, yeah. But this game,
I'm not taking away from that game, but this might have been the best football game I watched in a while. 5 years.
Oh, yeah, no question. I agree with you 100%. So we saw Lamar Jackson play fairly well. Derrick Henry
was
a monster up until
take away his fumble.
But
he had two touchdowns, 175 yards
before the fumble, yes.
And then he fumbled.
Yards,
so take away his fumble, right? And you could take away a touchdown because obviously the fumble did lead them to score a touchdown, right?
Yep.
So you counteract one of his touchdowns for the touchdown they scored because of the fumble. Derrick Henry still put up 174 yards and a touchdown.
Well, no, he actually ended up going 18 rushes, 169 yards and 2 touchdowns with the fumble. Lamar went 14-19, 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen, who I played in fantasy football, thank God I somehow won, where's his stats? 33 of 46, 396 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 30 yards on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
Wow.
Something I am going to say is we spoke very highly of the Ravens' defense. Not even just their defense, their secondary alone. And in the fourth quarter, they played terrible.
Well, for majority of the game, they did. Now, granted, it's up against the MVP, the guy that ended up winning the MVP last year. I know a lot of people say, well, Lamar deserved it.
Nope, I 100% believe that Josh Allen deserved to win that. And if Lamar won it, I would have been pretty heated.
Well, I wouldn't have said
I would have been heated, but I would have been surprised.
Yeah, I would have been surprised too. But Josh Allen definitely deserved it with the way that he played.
Josh Allen, I believe he had 250 passing yards in the fourth quarter alone.
I would not be surprised. That was an insane showing from him. Absolutely nuts. So the Ravens obviously led late in the game, going up 40-25 on a crazy one-handed catch by DeAndre Hopkins. That was nuts.
Okay, now I'm going to say this. After that play, you saw DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson go towards the sideline. Now, a fan for the Buffalo Bills tapped Hopkins on the helmet and Lamar on the helmet. And Lamar pushed them back. Now, that fan is banned indefinitely from the NFL games. I believe it's all stadiums. And is in a neck brace.
Yeah, but, dude, I'm not going to say anything mean here. That was a little bit egregious. He's putting the neck brace on trying to get, sympathy. That was really stupid, pushing Lamar and DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, you had it coming. That was really dumb. But for him to go on afterwards and wear a neck brace, he didn't even go that hard back. All he did was he fell back into his chair. He didn't hurt his neck.
Well,
he was doing that all. Trust me, he was doing it all for sympathy.
It depends. I'm not saying he's not doing it for sympathy, but the worst thing that we can come out here and say is that he's doing it just because of sympathy.
Oh no! I wouldn't say
there's a chance that when he did go back and hit his head on his chair,
maybe it gave him a little whiplash.
Not whiplash, but if let's say he didn't just completely sit down. Let's say he fell back and his neck hit the
chair,
the top of the chair. He could have done something to.
You're right, but still.
So, I have Josh Allen's fourth quarter stats right here.
Okay, which were?
251 passing yards, 3 total touchdowns, 1 passing, 2 rushing, 131.3 QBR.
Yep.
16 of 21 passing.
Yeah, that's incredible. He played fantastic. Like I said, I thought the game was over when DeAndre Hopkins scored that touchdown. And then the Buffalo Bills come down, answer.
And what I'm surprised about is that there were a few mistakes that were made. The game very easily could have went into overtime.
Yeah. I know it could have. But
Keon Coleman stepped out of bounds on the 2-point.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was kind of a little forced out.
He was. I'm not saying he. I mean, he was.
Well, yeah, he didn't do it intentionally.
But he was. He went out of bounds on the 2-point and touched the ball.
Yeah. And they called it illegal touching.
But then he made up for that by catching the touchdown.
That he did. Yeah, he caught that touchdown, and then Derrick Henry fumbled the football. They got the ball back, came right downfield, scored a touchdown.
Didn't they score 16 points in 4 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah. They were losing 45-20 with 4 minutes left in the game. Or not 45. Was it 45-20? No, sorry, 40-25. I had the numbers reversed. 40-25 with 4 minutes left. But Matt Prater ended up kicking the game-winning field goal as time expired as the Bills pulled off an absolute stunner of a comeback to win that game. Speaking of stunner comebacks, we'll also talk about the Monday night game really quickly as well. The Chicago Bears blew the lead against the Minnesota Vikings as the Vikings would storm back and win the game. I believe it was 27-24. Very, very close game. The Bears were running away with it early. J.J. McCarthy looked lost for the first 3 quarters of football. The Bears offense clicked in the first half, started to slow a little bit, but then J.J. McCarthy, oh man, he completely flipped a switch and ended up throwing 2 touchdowns and rushing for a touchdown as well. And they came back to stun Chicago in Chicago on the night that they honored the 1985 Chicago Bears Super Bowl champ team. Very, very surprising. J.J. McCarthy still is a little concerned for me because if he plays that way against some other premier teams, they're not going to allow him to come back into the game like that. But Granted, that takes a lot of grit and a lot of guts to come back and pull off a win like that, especially the way he played in the first 3 quarters. The way he played at the end of the game was phenomenal. And the Vikings defense held out big time as well, too. So very, very surprising win for the Vikings, but again, very gritty win. Long way to go. That being said, now we're going to try and make our picks quick because we got to talk college football. We still got a little bit of baseball to talk as well. I don't want to go, way too long so you guys are ready to fall asleep at one point. So basically, we'll run through really quick here. I'll go through the slate. You let me know who you think's going to win. I'll let you know who I think's going to win. And then, I could kind of bring up some points if you want to as well, but we'll try and get this going here. Thursday night, you have the Commanders at the Packers. For me, I think it's a close game. I think the Packers ride the momentum and win a close NFC matchup. I'm taking the Packers to win.
Now, this is where I may disagree because I do think the Packers can win, but watching how the Commanders play, I get it's the Giants, but the defense looked good.
For who? The Commanders?
The Commanders. The Commanders. And the Giants defense didn't really play that bad.
Yeah, you're true. That is very true. But
they didn't even
Packers
really play that bad.
Played very, very well.
I know. I'm saying the Packers defense played very, very well, but the Giants defense didn't even really play that bad, and what the Commanders did to them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see a way where the Commanders don't put up a fight.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I have the Commanders winning, but if they lose, it'll be very, very close.
I agree. I definitely agree. Now, Sunday's game, you have the Rams versus the Titans. I don't really think it should be too difficult of who I pick. I'm going to take the LA Rams. Obviously, it's not even just because of my bias, but being genuine, the Titans still have a lot to work on. The Rams defense looked good last week. I'm taking the Rams. Jaguars, Bengals.
I got the Jags.
Okay.
I get that the Bengals are looking for a comeback week, comeback game, whatever. The Jags, they're coming off a win. I know it's the Panthers, but one win can boost the confidence of an entire team.
I agree with that 100%.
No matter how bad the team that they are playing is, it can definitely raise the morale of.
No, I agree. But for me, I only take the Bengals this week because they are having their home opener. I think they definitely want to try and at least look a little bit better than they did last week and try and prove that they're not some sort of breeze over. So I'm going to take the Bengals to win. I would not be surprised if the Jaguars do win that game, though. Browns-Ravens in Baltimore. Yeah, it's no-brainer.
Not even close.
The Ravens, after losing week 1, is definitely not going to lose to the Browns in week 2. I'm taking the Ravens to win. This is another one very easy. Bills at Jets. I'm taking the Bills. Jets may surprise people and play pretty decent against the Bills. I just do not see them beating Buffalo. Regardless if it's home or away, Buffalo's not losing. This is going to be the tougher one for me. Patriots at Dolphins. I am going to take the Miami Dolphins to win.
No.
Listen, it's crazy as it sounds. The Dolphins, I think, come back to life a little bit offensively. They're playing in some warm weather in Miami. The Patriots are coming off of a little bit of a, I wouldn't say bad loss, but a kind of surprising loss. And I don't think the Dolphins are going to want to get upset like that back-to-back weeks. I see the Dolphins winning.
I get your point about the Dolphins winning. I just don't see the Patriots going out there and not winning. Because when you look at how bad that the Dolphins actually played.
Yeah, but again,
the Colts defense isn't bad.
No, my point exactly.
But the Patriots defense arguably could be just as good as the Colts.
It could be.
And what I'm going to say is that the Patriots secondary is really good. That Christian Gonzalez.
If he plays, he didn't play last week either. He was out. So if he doesn't play, I could definitely see the Dolphins. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Dolphins are going to blow him out of the water. I think it's still going to be maybe even a 3-point game. I'd be curious to see what the spread is on that game. But I'm still going to lean the Dolphins. I'm assuming you're taking the Patriots.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. The 49ers Saints. This one, I really don't even want to pick a winner. But because no Kittle, no Brock Purdy, no Ayuk. I'm still going to take the 49ers to win that game. I would not be surprised if the Saints find a way to do it at home, but I don't know.
Dolphins, the spread is -1.5 for the Dolphins.
Ooh.
Money line, Dolphins are -120 and Patriots are +100.
So they're still underdog. Like I said, I still had a feeling the Dolphins would win. But in regards to who you take in 49ers-Saints game?
49ers.
As much as I'd love to see.
Even though
they're missing all those guys.
Brock Purdy's not playing, whatchamacallit's not playing. Brock Purdy, Kittle, Ayuk, they're missing a lot of people, but I just don't see. When in doubt, Kyle Shanahan's reaction to things is going to be to give McCaffrey the ball.
That's true. And Brian Robinson. They still have other weapons, too. So I still see them winning that game. I'd be very surprised if well, actually, I wouldn't say very surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to lose, but I just don't think that they do. I think the coaching is better, too. Giants, Cowboys.
Dallas.
Yeah. I was going to say I'm not going to sit here and pick the Giants back-to-back weeks, especially after what they did to me last week.
Not even.
No.
I'm not even going to choose the Giants.
No, I wouldn't either. I think that the Cowboys are going to score points, and the big question is are the Giants going to score points? I don't know. So I'm taking the Cowboys. It's fairly easy. Bears at Lions. Before we came in here, I was going to take the Bears, but since they are playing in Detroit, I don't know if Detroit's going to go back-to-back weeks, and the Bears are going to bear. I am going to take the Detroit Lions.
I mean,
I want to take the Bears, but
okay.
I can't.
I'm taking the Bears only for one reason.
Which is?
Their head coach being Ben Johnson.
Okay, yeah. Well, trust me, that weighed in my mind. It's just I don't know if the Dolphins are going to lose 2 weeks in a row.
Dolphins?
No, I said I don't know if the Lions are going to.
Dolphins.
Did I? I'm sorry. I don't know if the Lions are going to lose 2 weeks in a row.
Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator for the Lions, right?
Yes.
Okay. He knows the playbook. I don't know if Dan Campbell decided to switch. Because if I'm Dan Campbell, right, you look at the playbook Ben Johnson had and the plays that he ran, you're sitting there thinking, if I change this, it's going to be stupid.
Well,
I know we play the Bears two times a year, but it would be stupid to change something that worked last year.
No, you're right, but at the same time, like I
understand that it's the home opener for the Lions, but Ben Johnson knows that playbook in and out, and I am pretty sure he prepared the defense this week for everything to look at.
Oh yeah, no, I could see that. Like I said, I'm like
I think the Bears only go in there and win because they are going to be 100% ready for whatever the Lions throw at them, not only on offense, but I'm pretty sure Ben Johnson also had access to the defensive playbooks too.
Wouldn't be surprised
and
if he did.
I'm pretty sure he told the offense that this is what they do and this is the weak spot in their defense. Go attack it.
I would hope that the Bears win because, like that was my gut.
It's not like I'm pulling the Bears out of my ass. I'm literally going into this prediction with some logic too.
Yeah, no. Like I said, that's what I was doing too. It's just with me, for some reason, I don't know if the Lions lose 2 weeks in a row, but I would not be surprised if the Bears do win. Seahawks, Steelers. I'm going to go with the Steelers again. I think that
I'm going to take the Steelers as well. I think Aaron Rodgers proved that he can still play football.
Yeah, Seattle's defense also struggled a little bit for me, made some questionable plays. Sam Darnold really did not look good against a defense that lost a lot of pieces at home, and now they're on the road in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's defense steps up a little bit more than they did last week. I'm taking the Steelers again. Broncos, Colts. I'm going to go with the Broncos this week. I think that Daniel Jones' ego gets shrunk a little bit back down to size. Broncos defense, like we've mentioned, is one of the best defenses in football, if not the best. I think Bo Nix kind of comes back a little bit and plays a tiny bit better. So I am going to take the Broncos this week.
I don't disagree with that statement. I think the Broncos could definitely go out there and win.
Yep.
But it just depends on how well Bo Nix plays.
Well, big time. Yeah, I just think that the Broncos defense is enough to really give the Colts some trouble. So, like I said, you're going Broncos?
I'm going Broncos.
I will also go Broncos. Cardinals, Panthers in Arizona. I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals. Sorry.
I'm not taking the Panthers.
Nope.
I can't take the Panthers until Bryce Young proves that he can
Yeah,
play
until
a
he
competent game
proves
of football.
that he can do it, I'm not doing it. The game of quite possibly the week here. Rematch of the Super Bowl. Eagles at Chiefs. I'm going to take the Eagles.
As much as it pains me to say this,
you're going with the Eagles.
I have to.
Well, I mean, you don't have to.
I
if you
do.
want to take the
No,
Chiefs,
I
you take
do.
the Chiefs.
I don't want to be. This isn't a competition between me and you who gets the most right or wrong every week.
No, I know it's not.
But I don't want to be wrong. Like,
trust me, that's how I felt when I make my picks.
Mahomes' wide receiver 1 right now is Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Their wide receiver 2 is Boo Boo Schuster.
So I was like, where is he going with this? Oh Lord, yeah, I forgot it's Juju.
I can't, like, I just don't see a world because Xavier Worthy most likely isn't going to play.
Yeah, no, he's probably not playing. They said he was missing.
If Xavier Worthy played, then yes,
different story.
I might choose the Chiefs, but he's not playing. The Eagles lost to. No, the Eagles won, right?
Yeah, they beat the Cowboys.
They beat the Cowboys. They're 1-0. They're defending champions
for a reason.
For a reason.
Yeah.
And they had the Chiefs number in the Super Bowl.
Yep. Trust me, I couldn't agree more with you. I'm going with the Eagles.
I have to.
Then we got Falcons Vikings at that's the late night game. I believe that should be the Sunday night game.
It is.
I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings.
I got the Falcons.
I just think that, again, McCarthy gains a little bit more ground now that he got a little more confident going into that fourth quarter. Like I said, it's not that I wanted him to do bad. I do have my belief that he may continue to struggle a little bit. It's rookie year,
I
but
wanted him to do bad because I played him in fantasy last week, and he's the reason why I lost.
Well, that's bitter. But I'm taking the Vikings to win. I think the defense is going to give the Falcons a little bit of trouble. They look really good in the second half, holding the Bears offense, who looked like they were doing really well during the first half of the game. I just think the Vikings are going to come out at home, play strong defense, and
I'm not going to disagree with that statement. I am going to disagree. I am going to take the Falcons. They played the Bucs, who are a fairly decent team. They've been getting better. And what I will say is that the Falcons, we came out here and said that we didn't think that Michael Penix was going to be like suitable to be a NFL, like, do great. But he came out and he played a really great game.
Yeah, he did.
And the Vikings defense really isn't as good as the Bucs, I'm going to say.
I mean, it's close.
It's close, but it's not. I'd still say the Bucs overall have a better defense than the Vikings.
Well, the Vikings also do have some missing pieces out right now too, so once they get those back, that may change. But no, I trust me, I get you.
Yeah,
I get you. Then we'll go into the Monday night games. There's 2 of them, and then we could obviously touch a little bit on college football because I do want to wrap up with baseball. We're running a little bit long here. So we have the Buccaneers at the Texans, the first game on Monday night. Although I think the Bucs offense is very, very good and the Texans offense is limited, I'm going to take the Texans to win that game. I think that the defense definitely steps up. They are in a weak division. They know that they can get away with winning a game like this and possibly losing another one, and they're still going to be battling for it.
Yep.
I think Baker has a little bit of trouble this week with the Texans defense. I'm going with the Texans. I think you are too.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans as well.
I just think that they bounce back and get a win. They played very well against a team like the Rams. I think that they are very, very competitive still, so I'm taking the Texans.
I have a debacle. Both of my fantasy quarterbacks are kind of in, like, weird situations. I don't know who to start. I have Baker and I have Mahomes.
That's an interesting one. I'd probably lean more Baker, to be honest with you. I think Mahomes with the Eagles defense, I think that the Eagles will definitely give them trouble, even though Dak looked really good against the Eagles in week 1, so you probably could go Mahomes. Mahomes is good enough.
I know Dak,
but he's got no options.
I know Dak really looked really good against the Eagles defense, but he didn't put up that many fantasy points.
Well, I know, but I don't know how many Baker will put up against the Texans defense either, so it'll be close. You may want to look into the waiver wire and scoop somebody up as well, too, just to throw in for 1 week. Last game of the week, which is the other Monday night game, is going to be Chargers at the Raiders. As much as the Raiders looked good in their win against the Patriots,
I'm taking the Chargers.
I am also taking the Chargers as well. I think that Justin Herbert continues his success. I think that the team has a good shot at winning, like we mentioned before. I think they have a good shot at winning the AFC West. If they can stay competitive, the run game improves a little bit, and Justin Herbert keeps playing the way he's going, I'm going to take the Chargers as well. So we'll kind of go into a little bit of college football just because I do want to get into some baseball stuff before we close out. So college football, we saw all 25 ranked teams play this week. 4 of them did get upset, and obviously the rankings did change. We'll just touch on the upsets a little bit because a couple of them were very, very surprising. So we had Oklahoma, who defeated Michigan 24-13. The Sooners, led by John Mateer, who's their quarterback, took the win home as Mateer went 21-34, 270 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but he added 74 yards on 19 carries and 2 rushing touchdowns. Bryce Underwood struggled very, very badly. He was 9 of 24 for 142 yards, no touchdowns. Justice Haynes, former Alabama running back, now starting running back for Michigan, carried Michigan's production levels. He went 19 for 125 yards rushing and a touchdown as well, but this was not enough as the Sooners upset the Wolverines and start 2-0 on the season. So Michigan did end up falling, I believe, to number 23 ranked instead. Oklahoma did end up moving up, which is not a shocker. We also saw the University of South Florida. They ended up knocking off the Florida Gators in Gainesville 18-16. I don't know if you watched any bit of that game. That game was very, very strange. USF has been battling for the past couple of years. They gave Alabama a run for their money a year ago, and they're definitely looking a lot better. Byram Brown led the way going 23-36. 263 yards and a touchdown. He also added 66 yards on 17 carries. DJ Lagway played okay. He didn't really do enough, though. He was 23-33 with 222 passing yards, 222, and 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Bulls, the South Florida Bulls, missed a field goal late in the game to take the lead, but wouldn't be denied the second time, as Nico Gramatica would nail a game-winning field goal as time expired to knock off the Florida Gators. They end up having a very tough test next week as they actually have to play against the number 3 ranked LSU. So much for their schedule being very, very hard. That's not going to be a good look for them. We also saw Baylor upset SMU 48-45 in double overtime. SMU led late into the fourth quarter, leading 38-24, but Baylor scored back-to-back touchdowns, the second coming with 34 seconds left in the game. The teams would trade touchdowns in the first overtime, but Baylor would get a stop and kick the game-winning field goal to knock off off the top 25 ranked Mustangs. And then the last upset, which we will mention, will be the Arizona State Sun Devils, who were ranked number 12, lost on the road to Mississippi State 24-20. The quarterback for Arizona State, Sam Leavitt, had a tough night, 10 of 22, only 82 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He also known for running the ball. He only finished with 25 yards. The running back, Raleek Brown, had a great day. He went for over 100 with 110 yards rushing, but Mississippi State threw a touchdown with just over a minute left to take a 24-20 lead, and then the Sun Devils would turn the ball over with an interception to drop the game for their first loss of the year. Now, there were a lot of other games I'd love to touch on, but we saw the big mismatches between a lot of teams this week. Ohio State against Grambling. I mean, Penn State versus FIU. They all played some very interesting games. Obviously, I know everyone's going to be talking about Arch Manning playing well against San Jose State. Again, it's San Jose State. We'll go easy there. Carson Beck played okay in his game against Bethune. Gunnar Stockton played fairly well against Austin Peay University. Garrett Nussmeier played well against Louisiana Tech. So, I mean, they all played some very, very easy teams. So it wasn't really a week where I'm going to go crazy about college football and spam it. But
is Oklahoma State an easy team?
Oklahoma State? Yes, they were. They were an easy team. Oh, yeah. Who did they end up playing? Oregon. And look at what happened. 69-3. Yeah, that's an easy game. Dante Moore balled out that game for Oregon as well, too. But like I said, the only game that was actually really close for a while was the Clemson and Troy game. Troy was winning for a majority of the game, and then Cade Klubnik and company just turned the game around and ended up scoring, I forget how many unanswered points. It may be like 20 unanswered points. It's a very, very good game that Clemson bounced back from. But again, definitely not pretty for them to struggle a little bit against them, and they dropped in the rankings because of it. And now a lot of these teams, we'll just mention the 4 big games that are going to come this week. So like I mentioned, you have LSU at Florida, number 3 LSU playing in Gainesville once again. That's going to be a very good game. That's going to be one of the primetime games as well. You have the number 5 Miami versus the number 18 South Florida Bulls. So they moved up into the rankings after upsetting Florida.
Number 6 Georgia at number 15 Tennessee.
That's going to be a very, very good game as well. Obviously, SEC clash. We love seeing that. And then the other game is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who are back from their bye week as the number 8 ranked team, taking on Texas A&M in Texas. So that should be a very, very good game at College Station. I'm excited to see how the college football goes this week, but we're going to close out the show here with more depressing baseball talk, because why not start with something so good and finish with something that's going to frustrate the living hell out of me. So,
do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Whichever. Do you want me to suffer first, or do you want to suffer first?
You know what? I'll take it.
Go for it. I'll close out the show with the Mets.
We see the Yankees take 2 out of 3 from Houston, 2 out of 3 from Toronto, and you're like, you know what? I'll take that. Then they play Detroit, which yesterday and Tuesday, I was fuming.
Yeah.
You have Will Warren, who goes out there on Tuesday.
He actually pitched fairly well.
And you have Judge hitting his 359th career home run, passing Yogi Berra to be the Yankees' number 5 all-time home run leader.
Congratulations to Aaron Judge for that, by the way.
Yes, that is a big milestone.
That's a huge milestone.
You have Will Warren going out there pitching.
I think he went
6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
Not a bad day.
In the 7th inning, you have a guy who you usually can rely on, Fernando Cruz, and somebody who I absolutely hate, Mark Leiter Jr., both being able to record a single out in the 7th inning.
Yeah. Yep.
They gave up 9 runs in the 7th inning. They had to call on Tim Hill to get the 3 outs.
Trust me, I know the bullpen pain, my brother.
It's not that what I don't understand, right? Is if you're Aaron Boone and you see Toronto playing Houston, and you see Toronto winning, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't you thinking that Toronto winning is a sign for you to leave? You see Mark Leiter Jr. and Fernando Cruz struggling in the 7th inning. And you know that your team isn't good at coming back in games late like they were last year. Because I'm going to say it, they don't have the Juan Soto they had last year. They have Cody Bellinger, but
I'm not even going to smile on that.
You can't, I'm saying last year what Juan Soto did for this lineup, something that Bellinger is replicating. But if we had a Soto, which I'm not even saying I would take Soto over Bellinger. Oh, I mean, I kind of am. But what I'm saying is that with Bellinger playing as well as he is, I feel like more teams are confident that they can still pitch the way they can against the Yankees, because the production is only coming from 3 players.
Well, yeah, no.
Last year there was more of a feeling that I was confident in May that the Yankees were going to go to the World Series, and they did. This year, not so much.
Well,
They don't have Glaber, who Boone came out and said it himself that he's played very well and that he liked the way that he played toward the end of last season. That why didn't you give the man a contract?
Well, that's not Boone's fault.
It's not Boone's fault, but he could have told Cashman, "Hey, I like how Glaber played. Let's bring him back for you."
Well, that's true.
He's only on a 1-year deal with Detroit.
Yeah, no. Listen, the big
What
thing
I
is,
don't understand is that Boone is in the dugout.
yeah,
And you're playing a team that has the number 1 spot in the AL for the playoffs.
yep.
And you're in a tie ball game with the bases loaded, no outs. And you know your team can't really come back from large deficits in the later innings. Why are you going to leave in your pitcher?
Well, they also do have a rule change now.
Well,
They have to face at minimum 3 batters.
yes, but I think Fernando Cruz went out there to start the 7th inning.
He probably did and then struggled, but I guess they had the confidence in him because he had been good before that happened.
He had been good, and that's the thing. Fernando Cruz is not a bad pitcher. Well, after the other night, I beg to differ. But Fernando Cruz was really, really reliable earlier on in the season. And what I need to happen is that I need for Boone to wake up and realize that what this team needs is not better. Well, they need players to wake up.
Yeah, they do. No
I
doubt.
hope the first move this offseason is getting Anthony Volpe off of the roster. I don't care. I don't care if he's 23 or 24 years old. I don't want him on the roster. If I see him on the roster next year, I might not be I'm not going to be happy, but I might not even watch baseball for like the first 2 weeks.
Oh, trust me, all my Yankees friends are all feeling the same thing right now.
I
get
don't
it.
understand how many chances you can give this guy
Over and over.
over and over and over again, where he has flashes of greatness for like a week.
That's all it is.
And
It's
then
just over and
then
over.
he goes
and
back,
over.
and then he goes back to going 0 for 53 in
However
2-week
many
stretch.
games. Yeah,
like,
nah,
I can't. And then the next game, right? You have Rodon pitching very well. He gives up only 2 runs, and then again in the 8th inning, they give up another 9 runs. Like, I don't understand what the problem is.
Was it that bad?
They lost 11-1 yesterday.
I know they lost 11-1, but I didn't know they let up 8 runs that way.
It was either 8
Oh yeah, they let up. They did. They let up.
They let up a
8
lot.
runs.
8 runs in the 8th inning. Like,
Good God.
This team is so stressful.
Oh, listen.
And now tonight, to make things even worse, I believe they're facing Scooble.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
hold on. Okay, I'm gonna cut you off here.
No, I am done. This team is. We won't make it past the wild card round.
Easy.
I don't think we're
easy.
gonna have a home playoff game this year.
Yeah,
I
relax.
don't see this team turning it around.
Relax.
I'm kind of done.
Okay, now I know you're kind of done, but listen. When you think it's all bad for you, take a look over at Queens and see how bad it is there. The Mets come out and sweep the Phillies last week at Citi Field, and everything looks like it's finally starting to come into place. The Mets are only 4.5 games back of first. They have a nice lead in the wild card, or for the third wild card spot. They look like things are finally going their way. And what happens? They lose 2 of 3 to the Cincinnati Reds, who are now on their tail even closer, and they are on the verge of getting swept by Philadelphia, who is down Trey Turner and Alec Boehm, both on the IL. And not only are they losing to Philly, they're getting spanked. Now, to give you a little idea of how stressful it's going to be for the New York Mets, the Mets' hopes of winning the NL East are dead. Buried. They are 10 games behind Philadelphia, with only, I believe, 17 games left to play. Or 18, whatever it is. 10 games behind. That division's dead. But not only this, now you have the Cincinnati Reds and the San Francisco Giants both sitting 2 games back from the final wild card spot. And we have to play the Texas Rangers, who are starting to heat up. We have to play the San Diego Padres. We have to play the Chicago Cubs. Then you have to play against the Marlins, who just beat them a couple weeks ago, and the Washington Nationals, who beat them in a series a couple of weeks ago. At this rate, the New York Mets are not going to make the playoffs. And I'm going to finish with this based on the Mets. I love the fact that you have Jonah Tong. Nolan McLean has been very good. Brandon Sproat looked very good in his first start, although he ended up not getting a win. He did look fairly good. He was throwing a no-hitter through 6 innings before he started letting in a couple of runs, which is okay. It's a young guy, first MLB start. The rest of your pitching between, Peterson not so much. Manaea, Senga getting sent down to AAA, Clay Holmes doing Clay Holmes things, and the bullpen. This team is absolutely atrocious. From being the best team in baseball on June 13th to going to be one of the 3 worst teams in the MLB since that moment. You go out and get certain guys at the deadline. Cedric Mullins is ass. He can't get a hit. He's horrible. And meanwhile, Harrison Bader's tearing it up in Philadelphia. You let the guy walk. You could have gotten him at the trade deadline back. Now he goes to the Phillies, and he kills you. And Cedric Mullins stinks. Ryan Helsley, ass. Certified ass. He actually pitched okay in his last outing, but that doesn't cover it. Trevor Rogers has not looked good. Gregory Soto in his last couple of relief appearances has not looked good. The decision-making by Mendoza, who is your manager, horrible. David Stearns, absolute no idea what the hell he did. The signings in the offseason did not pan out. Jesse Winker didn't play almost the whole year. Jose Siri didn't play a majority of the year, comes back and bat flips a double down 7-1. He pimps a double when you're losing by 6 runs.
It's like Josh Donaldson things right there.
Everything that can go wrong for the Mets is continuing to go wrong. This team it's got to be cursed. There's no other excuse for it. This team was the number 1 team in baseball for months to start the year.
Oh, so are the Yankees. Don't feel bad.
I know, but to go from the best record to having the 3rd worst record in the MLB since that day, it always is the same theme with the New York Mets. Start out hot and finish ice cold, and it's either too late or you squeak in and get smacked around, or you start like crap, you heat up, and it's too late and you don't make it, or you just get in and then you go cold at one point again. This is the same pathetic crap I've seen for long enough. I hope they make the playoffs, but I'll tell you right now, this team ain't going nowhere in the playoffs. You guys have a better chance going somewhere in the AL. The NL, the Mets ain't winning squat.
I am only going to say this. I didn't realize how the rest of the schedule is for the Yankees and how
it's a cakewalk. It's a cakewalk.
After tonight, they play Boston for 3 games.
And then you have Baltimore, Chicago, and Baltimore, no?
Minnesota, Baltimore, Chicago, Baltimore.
Yeah. Cakewalk.
And they're only 3 games behind Toronto.
Yeah. Cakewalk.
And Toronto, after tonight, plays Baltimore for 3 games. But then they play Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Boston.
Okay.
Tampa Bay.
I'm telling you, listen, Yankees have at least a good shot. They're gonna get a wild card at minimum.
Boston, after tonight, they don't play tonight, but they play the Yankees for 3 games. Then they play Oakland at home for 3 games, which Oakland beat them yesterday.
Yeah.
Then they play the Rays away. Then they play the Blue Jays in the end of the season with Detroit.
It's tough. It's a tough run.
If Boone figures a way to manage and does stuff correctly, they can win the division.
Yeah, I could see it.
But
I think they will be fine.
But I don't think they will go far in the playoffs.
Well, listen, the AL is a little bit weak compared to what the NL is right now. The NL's got a lot of powerhouses.
I will say this. If they do perform in the playoffs and they somehow make a run and go to the World Series, they will be embarrassed worse this year than they were last year.
I agree with you there. I don't know if they're going to win a World Series, but I can tell you what, they have a much better shot making it than the other pissant team that's in New York as well, too, that I try so hard to love and consistently breaks my heart.
Dodgers would walk all over them. Padres would walk all over them. I don't know the other.
Dodgers, Padres, Phillies would probably walk on them.
The only team
the Milwaukee Brewers.
Only team I would be confident facing would be the Brewers.
I don't know about that. I think the Chicago Cubs would probably walk you too. To be honest, I'm not trying to be mean about it because again they walked us.
I understand. So. I understand that the season isn't the same as it was when they first started.
I get it. I know.
But when you look at the Brewers pitching opening series, the Yankees killed them.
I know. But, hey, listen. Again, that's the first week of the season. Anything could happen. The Brewers have been hot. One of the best teams in baseball over the last couple of months. But, again, we'll finish off with this point. Where you think it is that bad as being a Yankee fan, it can always be worse. Rooting for the blue and orange team that's located in Queens, Flushing, whatever you want to refer to it as. And I know why they put them in Flushing, because they deserve to go in the toilet and flush them down. And that's what's going to happen if they don't make the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say on that. That being said, we're going to close out the show here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Straight Outta Stratford podcast. I'm your host, Zach, along with my co-host,
Julian.
And don't be a Mets fan. Don't be a Yankees fan. Just watch some football. Have a good week, guys.
You too.